This person loves you, but has a serious problem with your appearance. My beloved soul. Today I want you to take a deep breath and sit with me for a moment. Not in fear, not in panic, not in insecurity, but with honesty, with clarity, and with love for yourself. Because what I am about to tell you is something people rarely talk about openly, yet it silently shapes relationships, emotions, and the connection two people share. There is someone in your life. Someone who cares for you more deeply than they show, someone who thinks about you more often than they admit, and someone who carries a strong love for you in their heart. But along with that love, there is a problem. A serious one. Not dangerous, not harmful, and not something that should make you afraid. But something that must be understood gently, with compassion, and with self-respect. This person, the one who loves you, has an issue with something related to your appearance. Not because you are unattractive. Not because something is wrong with you. And definitely not because your beauty is lacking. In fact, your appearance holds a charm that they cannot ignore. There is something about the way you look, the way you carry yourself, the energy around you. It stays with them like a soft memory they can't let go of. So what exactly is the problem? My beloved soul, the problem is their own fear, their own insecurity, their own self-consciousness. This person loves you, but they worry about how others perceive you. Not because you look bad, but because they think you're too unique, too attractive in a way that intimidates them, or too different in a way that exposes their own lack of confidence. They wonder, what if everyone notices them? What if people stare? What if I'm not enough for someone who looks like that? What if others judge us as a pair? And instead of admitting their insecurities, they project it onto the small things about your appearance, your style, your dressing, your simplicity, your boldness, your expressions, your comfort with yourself. They love you. But sometimes your appearance makes them feel small in comparison. Not because you do anything wrong, but because they are constantly questioning their own worth. This person feels, if I look a certain way and they look another way, will people think we don't match? Will people question why someone like them would be with someone like me? Will I be judged? Will I lose them to someone else? It is not you. It is their own reflection they are struggling with. Your presence exposes their deepest insecurities. Your beauty, whether it is external, internal, or both, forces them to confront the parts of themselves they have been avoiding. And instead of saying this openly, they sometimes make small comments. Subtle hints. Little suggestions. Maybe you should try this style, maybe this will look better, why don't you change this, or, people might misunderstand, and when they say these things, you feel confused. You feel unheard. You feel questioned. Because deep down, you are not trying to impress the world. You just want to be yourself. My beloved soul, let me tell you something extremely important. Your appearance is not a problem. Their fear is. They love you deeply, but they haven't learned how to love themselves enough to stand confidently beside you. They haven't learned how to say, yes, this is the person I love. Yes, this is the person who stands beside me. And yes, I am proud of them. Instead, their heart whispers, what if I'm not enough for them? What if I don't deserve someone who looks like that? What if the world sees them and wonders how we ended up together? You see, sometimes when someone loves you, they don't only admire your beauty, they feel overwhelmed by it, threatened by it, inspired by it, afraid of losing it. And all of this mixes into a confusing emotional knot inside their heart. This person isn't trying to hurt you. They are actually trying to protect the connection, but they're doing it the wrong way. Instead of saying, I'm afraid of losing you, they say something else. Something indirect. Something about your appearance. Instead of saying, you're too beautiful and it scares me, they say, maybe you should change this, instead of saying, I worry about how people will look at us. They say, I'm not sure if this suits you. They are hiding their fear under the mask of concern. But the truth is not hidden from your soul. My beloved soul, your appearance is not the issue. It never was. The issue is their emotional maturity, their confidence, their ability to stand proud beside someone who shines brightly. This person loves you, but they fear judgment. Not from strangers, but from themselves. They are afraid of the reflection they see when they stand next to you. But listen closely. This situation is not here to break you. It is here to reveal something extraordinary about you. You do not need to change anything about your appearance to deserve love. You do not need to be less bold, less unique, less expressive, less confident. You were created with purpose. You look the way you do for a reason. Your style, your presence, your beauty, they are not flaws. They are blessings. And the right person, even this person who loves you, will eventually learn that love requires acceptance, not control. If this person truly wants you, they will evolve. They will grow into someone who stands tall beside you, not someone who tries to dim your light because they fear its brightness. But until then, you must never shrink yourself. You must never hide what makes you you. You must never adjust your uniqueness to make someone else feel comfortable. Because your appearance is not just what you look like. It is a reflection of your soul, your personality, your experiences, your comfort with yourself. And any love that asks you to change what makes you unique is not love, it is insecurity wearing the clothes of affection. But my beloved soul, the beautiful part is this person is not your enemy. They are not toxic. They are not malicious. They are simply scared. Scared of losing you. Scared of not being enough. Scared of being judged. Scared of standing next to someone who has a strong presence. And that fear creates unnecessary tension. But fear can be healed. Insecurity can be resolved. Confidence can grow. People can change. And this person, the one who loves you, will eventually realize that your appearance is not something to fear. It is something to admire. You are not too much. You are not too different. You are not too bold. You are exactly right. You are enough. More than enough. And you do not need to change anything to be worthy of love. Your presence is a gift. Your face carries stories. Your style carries identity. Your looks carry truth. You do not exist to fit into someone else's comfort zone. You exist to live, to shine, to express, to be free, to be you. So, my beloved soul, as we move into the next part of this message, we will go deeper into what this person truly feels, why they behave this way, and how you can navigate this situation without losing your confidence or your self-respect. You deserve love that sees your beauty and bows with gratitude, not love that becomes insecure in front of it. Before we end this part, I want you to breathe in this truth. There is nothing wrong with your appearance. There never was. And there never will be. My beloved soul. Before we go deeper, I want you to gently prepare your heart. Not with fear, not with judgment, but with compassion for yourself. Because what you are about to understand will open your eyes to truths you may have sensed but never fully recognized. The person who loves you, the one whose feelings run deeper than their words, has been carrying a silent tension inside them. They look at you with admiration, sometimes even awe. They notice the small things about you that no one else sees. The way your eyes shift when you're thinking, the way your face lights up when you talk about something you love, the way your presence changes the energy of any space you enter. But behind their admiration, behind their love, behind their attachment, there is a hidden struggle. A struggle they cannot speak about openly. A struggle they feel embarrassed to admit. A struggle that is not about you, but about themselves. This person cares about you so much that they overthink everything. And the biggest thing they overthink is how they look standing next to you. Whenever they picture you together, a strange fear begins to rise inside them. They ask themselves, do I look good enough for them? Do I match their energy? Will people think they deserve someone better? Will someone more attractive take them away from me? Will I lose them because I'm not perfect? They do not say it aloud, but they feel it deeply. This fear is what creates the misunderstanding about your appearance. Not the truth of how you look, but the truth of how they feel inside. My beloved soul, you are not the problem. Your looks are not the problem. Your presence is not the problem. The problem is that your energy is powerful. And they don't know how to handle loving someone who carries such a strong light. They love you so deeply that your beauty overwhelms them. It's not that your appearance bothers them. It's that your appearance triggers their fear of losing you. They feel like they must keep up with you. They feel like they must fix themselves before they can stand proudly next to you. They feel like your beauty creates an expectation they cannot meet. Sometimes, they secretly compare themselves to people around you, your friends, people on social media, strangers who might glance your way. And each time, their insecurity grows a little bit more. Not because of you, but because they haven't learned how to see themselves with the same love they see you with. This person hides their insecurity behind suggestions and comments. They might say, maybe try a different hairstyle, or that outfit might attract too much attention, or that look doesn't suit the occasion, but none of this is about the outfit, the hairstyle, the makeup, or your style. It is all about their fear of losing you. Your presence brings out their vulnerability. Your beauty brings out their overthinking. Your confidence brings out their self-doubt. And instead of saying, "I'm scared someone else might take you from me," they say, "You should change this about how you look." Not because they want to control you, but because they want to control the outcome of losing you. My beloved soul. Imagine loving someone so much that every time they walk into a room, your heart grows warm, but your mind whispers, "What if I am not enough?" That is what this person feels. They don't dislike your appearance. They admire it, so much that it scares them. And yet, they also feel guilty for feeling this way. They know it's not fair. They know you don't deserve to be questioned. They know you should be free to be yourself. But love mixed with insecurity often behaves in confusing ways. This person feels torn between two emotions, love that pulls them toward you, and fear that pushes them away. And because of this, sometimes they act distant. Sometimes they become quiet. Sometimes they watch you from a distance instead of coming closer. They avoid saying how beautiful you look because they think it might make them look weak. They avoid complimenting you too much because they think it will expose their insecurity. They avoid expressing their fear because it makes them feel small. Inside their heart, they wonder, why would they choose me? Why would someone so beautiful love someone like me? What if one day they realize they deserve better? What if their appearance attracts someone more confident than me? This fear is like a storm inside their chest. A storm they try to hide behind a calm expression. But their silence speaks. Their hesitation speaks. Their avoidance speaks. And your intuition. It has already sensed this imbalance. My beloved soul, you may have felt that something was off. You may have sensed their hesitation. You may have seen the way their eyes soften when they look at you, yet their words become careful. This is because every time they look at you, they feel love and fear at the same time. Love, because your presence brings them comfort. Fear, because your presence reminds them of their insecurities. But here is a truth you must hold gently: their insecurity is not your responsibility to cure. It is something they must face within themselves. You cannot shrink your beauty to make them feel bigger. You cannot hide your glow to make them feel safe. You cannot change your appearance to fix their self-esteem. Because if you ever try to become smaller, you will lose yourself, and they will still carry the same fear. You are not meant to dim your light. You are meant to choose someone who learns how to stand beside your light without feeling threatened. This person is capable of growing, capable of learning confidence, capable of understanding that love is not about comparing. Love is about accepting. Deep down, they want to be the person who proudly holds your hand. They want to be the person who protects you, not because of insecurity, but because of love. They want to be the person who stands beside you with confidence instead of fear. But right now, they are still learning, still evolving, still figuring out how to love themselves. And until they do, they will continue to project their self-doubt onto your appearance. Not because they see flaws in you, but because they see flaws in themselves. My beloved soul, your beauty is not a threat. It is a gift, a blessing, a reflection of your inner truth. You do not need to change anything about it. You are allowed to be radiant. You are allowed to be expressive. You are allowed to be unique. You are allowed to be you. If someone loves you, they must learn to love themselves enough to stand proudly beside you. In the next part, we will explore how this person plans to change, how their feelings are transforming, and what they wish they could tell you if they had the courage. And remember, you do not need to shrink for anyone. My beloved soul, take a deep breath as we step into the next layer of truth, the part of their heart they never show anyone, the part they keep hidden even from themselves. Because the story changes here. This is where fear begins to transform, where insecurity starts to soften, where love grows louder than doubt. The person who loves you, the very same one who has been overwhelmed by your presence, intimidated by your beauty, and shaken by their own insecurities, is slowly waking up to a realization: they cannot love you from a place of fear forever. They cannot keep hiding behind excuses. They cannot keep pretending that their insecurity is concern. They cannot keep projecting their fears onto your appearance. Because deep inside their chest, your absence hurts far more than their insecurity. Your silence affects them more than their fear of judgment. Your distance scares them more than your beauty ever could. Your emotional withdrawal shakes them more than any comment ever will. They are beginning to understand that love requires strength, not strength to control you, but strength to handle their own emotions. And my beloved soul, they are starting to see that if they don't grow, they might lose the very person they prayed for. This realization keeps them awake at night. Not in panic, but in reflection. For the first time, they're asking themselves, why am I afraid of being seen with someone so amazing? Why can't I let myself feel proud instead of insecure? Why am I trying to change someone who has never tried to change me? Why do I feel threatened by their beauty instead of blessed? These are not questions of fear. They are questions of growth. Your presence has always been a mirror for them, showing them who they want to become, but also showing them the parts they still need to work on. And now, instead of running from it, they're facing it. For the first time, they are admitting to themselves, yes, I love them. And yes, I am insecure. But I do not want to lose them. This is the beginning of their transformation. My beloved soul, this person is not bad. They are not shallow. They are not judging you. They are judging themselves. They have lived with the belief that they are not enough. Not handsome or beautiful enough, not confident enough, not stylish enough, not successful enough, not worthy enough. And because of this belief, standing next to someone like you makes them fear that their insecurities will be exposed. But now, something new is happening inside them. They are beginning to understand that love is not competition. Love is not comparison. Love is not about who looks better. Love is not about who shines brighter. Love is about partnership, connection, respect, growth. They are realizing that if you chose them, with your appearance, your uniqueness, your beauty, then they must have something special too. Something they haven't yet recognized. Maybe it's their heart. Maybe it's their loyalty. Maybe it's the way they love deeply. Maybe it's the way they care silently. Maybe it's the depth inside them that no one else sees. And this realization is slowly softening their insecurity. This person is beginning to think, if they see something in me, maybe I should try to see it too. If they don't judge me, why am I judging myself so harshly? If they love me, why am I doubting whether I deserve that love? The fear is still there, but it's not as loud as before. Your presence is helping them grow, not by forcing them, but by inspiring them. They want to be better, not because you ask them to change, but because they want to be worthy of the love you bring. They are learning that loving someone like you requires courage, the courage to stand beside you without shrinking. They are beginning to practice things they never did before. They are trying to compliment you more, even if their voice shakes a little. They are trying to look into your eyes longer, even if it makes them feel vulnerable. They are trying to accept your beauty instead of overthinking it. They are trying to see you as a blessing instead of a challenge. Most importantly, they are trying to love themselves the way you naturally love people, without judgment. My beloved soul. You have no idea how much you have changed them already. Your patience, your kindness, your acceptance, your calm energy, it has created a safe space inside their heart. And now, instead of hiding from their fears, they are slowly confronting them. They are beginning to understand that love is a choice to show up, a choice to grow, a choice to fight through insecurity, a choice to stay even when it feels uncomfortable. This person wants to be worthy of you. Not because they need to earn your love, but because your love inspires them to evolve. They are learning that your appearance is not something to fear, it is something to celebrate. They are learning that your beauty is not competition, it is connection. They are learning that your presence is not a threat, it is a comfort. And most of all, they are learning that loving you means loving someone who shines brightly, and being proud of it. But this growth is just beginning. The transformation is not complete. There are deeper emotions inside them, deeper realizations they haven't yet spoken, and deeper feelings they want to confess but haven't found the courage to voice. In the next part, we will enter the most vulnerable space of their heart, the confession they wish they could make to you, the truth they silently carry, the words they would say if they weren't afraid. When you're ready, my beloved soul. Now we step into the deepest place of their heart, a place they keep locked away from the world, a place even they are afraid to explore, a place that holds the truth they've never said out loud. The confession. The part of their heart they hide behind silence, behind jokes, behind distractions, behind every "I'm fine" they've ever said. Because the truth isn't simple. It isn't straightforward. It isn't something they can say casually. But you deserve to know it. This person, the one who loves you, the one who struggles with insecurity, the one who overthinks your beauty, has been carrying something heavy inside them. Not anger. Not judgment. Not criticism. Not dislike. But something far more fragile. They feel unworthy of you. Not sometimes. Not occasionally. But deeply, constantly, silently. When they look at you, they don't see flaws. They don't see mistakes. They don't see imperfections. They see someone who feels out of reach, not because you tried to be, but because they placed you on a pedestal without even realizing it. They look at you and think, how did someone like them even notice me? Why would they choose me? What if I'm the weak link in their life? What if I never become as confident or beautiful as they are? These thoughts eat away at them, turning small worries into big fears. And these fears are the reason they sometimes make comments about your appearance. Not because they dislike something, but because they believe the world admires you more than they can handle. You see, my beloved soul. Your presence shines. Your energy draws people. Your beauty, your uniqueness, your natural charm, it leaves an impression. But instead of feeling proud to be with someone like you, they feel scared. Scared that people will compare you too. Scared that strangers might approach you. Scared that someone better might try to take you away. Scared that one day you'll wake up and realize you deserve more than they can offer. And because they don't know how to communicate these fears, they try to protect themselves by controlling what they can, your appearance. They think, if I can guide them, maybe I won't lose them. If I can influence their style, maybe people won't stare too much. If I can make small suggestions, maybe it will calm my anxiety. But deep inside, they hate themselves for doing this. They regret every comment they made that made you doubt yourself. They regret every moment they let fear speak louder than love. They regret pulling away when they should have moved closer. They regret hiding their true feelings behind silence and nervousness. And here is the truth they've been wanting to tell you. I'm not uncomfortable with the way you look. I'm uncomfortable with the way I feel next to you. This confession lives in their heart like a secret they're too afraid to say. Because if they told you this, they fear you might look at them differently. They fear you might see their vulnerability. They fear you might see their insecurity. They fear you might see the parts of themselves they've never accepted. But their love for you is stronger than their fear. They want to be better. They want to grow. They want to match your energy, not shrink from it. They want to stand beside you proudly, not hide behind excuses. They want to feel confident and worthy of being with you. They want to be someone who sees your appearance as a blessing, not a threat, not a problem, not a source of insecurity. And they are beginning to realize something important. You don't need to change. They do. You don't need to adjust your beauty. They need to adjust their confidence. You don't need to fix anything about how you look. They need to fix how they see themselves. This is the turning point in their emotional journey. Because for the first time, they are seeing themselves the way you might see them, someone who loves deeply, someone who cares intensely, someone who is trying, someone who is capable of growth, someone who can learn to stand beside your glow. But they also want to confess something else, something softer, deeper, more vulnerable than anything they've felt before. They are not just insecure. They are in awe of you. Your smile, your simplicity, your realness, your presence, it disarms them. It melts them. It shakes them. It humbles them. They have never met someone quite like you, someone whose beauty comes not just from the outside, but from your soul, your heart, your authenticity. This is why your appearance affects them so strongly. Not because you need to change, but because they are overwhelmed by how much they admire you. They don't just love you. They look up to you. And admiration mixed with insecurity creates fear, fear of not being enough. But here is the most powerful part, even with all their fears, even with all their insecurities, even with all their doubts, they still choose you. Every day, in their heart. Quietly, silently, without words. They may not say it clearly. They may not show it perfectly. But their love for you is deeply sincere. They want to be the person who stands beside you without fear. They want to be the person who supports you instead of suggesting changes. They want to be the person who sees your appearance and feels proud, not scared. They want to be the person who grows into your equal, not by changing you, but by becoming better themselves. And my beloved soul, this transformation is happening. Slowly. Quietly. But surely. In the final part, we will talk about what this person wants to do next, what they secretly hope for with you, and how their love will shape the future of this connection. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20.